Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and today I will be reviewing the Yes Basic. If you're interested in this board or any other boards or bindings I mentioned in this video, make sure you're going down in that description and clicking those affiliate links. That way you don't have to go search in the internet for yourself. This board is equipped with Yes's Cam Rock camber profile. So what that means is from underneath your feet, pretty much right at these inserts, you're gonna have that camber running through the board, and then on the nose and the tail, you're gonna have rocker. So what that profile is gonna do for you is that camber is gonna give you all of that pop, stability, and drive you're looking for, and that rocker section's gonna give you ease and entry in and out of turns, and a little bit more forgiveness for when you're learning. The Yes Basic comes in quite a few sizes. It comes in a 143, a 146, a 149, a 152, a 153 wide, a 155, a 156 wide, a 158, a 159 wide, a 161, and a 163 wide for the big dogs. I rode this board at Copper Mountain where it was a beautiful, warm, sunny day. The snow was soft like mashed potatoes. There was a slight breeze blowing in clouds periodically, so it kept the snow nice and fast for me. The only problem I had that day was the conditions are getting a little bare. There were some rocks showing, some dirt in some spots, so you really had to keep an eye on what rollers you were popping over, otherwise you might land in a dirt spot. But overall, apart from that, it was amazing. It was empty. We had the whole place to ourselves pretty much. I used my Ride Fuse boots and my Jones Mercury FASE bindings. When we're talking overall flex on the Yes Basic, it's coming in at slightly softer than the middle of the road. It had a pretty fluid flex to it where I couldn't really tell that there was a bunch of rocker in the nose or the tail, where as I pressed into this thing, I could just feel it flexing nice and smooth from the nose to the tail, so nothing really too crazy there where it just feels absolutely soft because of that rocker on the nose and tail. It doesn't feel like that really at all. And as we talk about the torsional flex, it matches that overall flex really well. You're not putting in a whole lot of work to torsionally flex this thing or foot steer it. And honestly, that is a good thing, because if it was any softer, I feel like, especially people who this board is made for, they're gonna be flexing this thing too much, where they're just be riding along, not really realizing they're putting too much pressure down, engaging that wrong edge, and it just goes horribly wrong for them. So it's not gonna do that for you. It is gonna be a little bit stiffer than that, so you are gonna actually have to put a little bit of effort into it, but that's not a totally bad thing. And then it does translate right into the stability portion, where this board is definitely going to be on the more lively side. There's not a whole bunch of dampening agents in this board, which is honestly a good thing, because as you're beginning, you're learning all of that, you don't really want the dampest board out there. You want to know exactly what you're going over and how to ride that certain terrain. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be super damp or anything, but it still will handle all of that stability that you're looking for, where as you're cruising along, it'll go over those push piles. It'll just kind of roll right over them, where you don't really have to worry about it just getting bucked around. Pretty much the only time you're getting bucked around on this thing is when you're just full speed charging, just trying to push it to the absolute limit. But for who this board is made for, you're probably not going to do that. So, you know, it is nice and stable, especially for that beginner intermediate rider. This thing would just be amazing stability wise for you. When you load this thing up to ollie, you'll notice it doesn't take a lot of effort to really ollie it, or even just load it up in general, where you lean back, you pop it. Once you get the ollie form down, it feels nice and easy. It does have a pretty good spring to it. I wouldn't say it's the snappiest board by any means, but that's just because you do have a little bit of rocker in that tail there. So it's not gonna be super snappy, but it's gonna be enough, and it's pretty much gonna be all you need for when you are that beginner intermediate rider. And the same goes with on jumps as well. It feels very stable approaching the jumps and landing them, so you don't have to worry about that whatsoever. Even on those softer days, it handled the lips really well when they were sinking in. I didn't have a problem with it trying to really edge in on me or anything, so just keep that in mind. You don't really have to worry about it too much, but you know, it'll help you practice your form a little bit better there. It felt nice and stable popping it or letting it do the work off the jump. I prefer to pop the lips, and it just felt a little bit more fun to me. But this thing will handle pretty much those medium size and smaller. You might be able to take it to a large jump, but I mean, that's not who it's made for. And if you're buying this board to take it to the large jumps, you might want to look at the more upgraded extreme version of this thing. But overall, it will handle all of those jumps, especially if you're learning the park. It's going to handle that really well for you, and it's just going to be a nice, smooth board off of those lips. While I have you here, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. When we're talking about buttering on this board, it's not the hardest thing to do whatsoever, since you do have rocker in the nose and in the tail. It gives you a nice little hinge point where you have that sweet spot to really just lock it in, hold it. There is a slight pop out on both the nose and the tail, but it's nothing too crazy. It's really just a great board for just kind of learning how to press, learning how to shift that weight without absolutely throwing everything back into it and just having it wash out. You do get a little bit more play there where you could feel like, oh, I'm going too far, bring it back, that sort of thing. It's nice and forgiving when you're buttering on it. And same goes with on rails as well, where I didn't really have to work terribly hard to get this thing to press on rails, whether it be a tail press or a nose press. It was just pretty much a slight shift of the weight, and it would really press for me without any concerns there. It honestly just felt like a standard snowboard on rails, which is an amazing thing to me, where sometimes they try to get too cute with it, where they're trying to make it so it's like gonna be softer here, stiffer there, you know, really just have great rail feel. This thing's just a standard snowboard. You go to slide this thing sideways and it's gonna slide for you, no problems. It cradles the rail really well. That one's a tongue twister, but you know, it does hold the rail well, it presses well. Does it do it amazing? No, but it's not really supposed to. I mean, this thing's made for that beginner, get you in the park, get you a little taste of the steel, and then progress from there on out. And that's what it does amazing on rails, is it's super forgiving, and it's not gonna kick your ass when you get on it. You're not gonna just end up catching because there's a crazy side cut on this thing. It handles them really well. This board carves really well for who it's made for. It's not a hard carving board where you're gonna really have to put a lot of effort into those short carves, those medium carves, even those large carves, but you can if you need to. So when I took this board out, I tried to put it through the ringer, carve it switch, carve it regular, just see really what it did well. And I mean, it will hold an edge at high speeds. It gets bounced around a little bit more, but at those cruisy speeds, this thing really carves extremely well, where you can just get it over nice and simple, like just without effort on those short, quick carves. Even when you're doing them switch, I like to do these beginner boards more switch riding, the regular riding, just so it kind of helps the customer figure out what they are gonna feel pretty much, because my switch riding's not good. Let's be honest here. I can make it down the mountain. It doesn't look pretty whatsoever, but this board made it super easy. I had a blast on it where I pretty much spent most of my day riding this thing switch just because how fun it was. But it will hit all those carves. It'll Euro carve for me. It'll Euro carve for you as well once you get to that point, but it just has really good edge hold that doesn't take a lot of effort to get over on. I will say, as you go up to those higher speed carves, those charging carves, that sort of thing, that's where it gets a little bit loose, but as you keep it at cruising speeds, it does just fine. It'll hit all those carves for you, especially when you're learning. It'll just make it nice and easy for you because it does turn over pretty well. Rider in mind. This board is designed for that beginner to intermediate rider that just needs a board to get them out there and help them progress. Once they progress, they get to that next level, they could still ride this board until this thing's absolutely clapped out and they've just thrown it through the ringer. But for the most part, this thing will handle anything that they throw in front of it. If they want to work on pretty much every facet of snowboarding, they totally can on this board and not have any problems. If that sounds like your type of riding, you should definitely pick one of these guys up. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the Angry Snowboarder community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you might ask? Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. I really enjoyed this board. This thing was a lot of fun, actually, even just riding it switch. You know, it didn't put too much taxing work on my body whatsoever that day. I was just able to cruise around, have a good time on it, and really just do everything. And that kind of brings me to my next point. The name for this board absolutely sucks. Nobody wants to buy a board called the Basic. I've had this talk with countless customers, I'll say, where they're looking for their first board. I show them the board. They're like, all right, that's all right. And then you tell them the name is the Basic. And they're like, I don't want a board that's called the Basic. It's just got a negative connotation to it now. But just change the name, guys. Change it to like the Everything, because this board will do everything. It does nothing great, but it will do everything for you. So, I mean, that's just the one gripe I have with this, is that it's just called the basic because it's basically all you need to get down the mountain. And that's true, but it's just a terrible name. Nobody wants that name on their board. So you guys got to fix that. It is what it is. I think you guys would sell so many more of these if you called it the everything or you just called it something else. But overall, like based on how this thing rides, it's amazing. It's a great board. I do really like it a lot. I just hate the name. Yes, just change the name and people will buy this thing. Just sell them out. Like, it's not a big deal. This thing does everything well, just nothing great. And I absolutely love it. Comparable boards: the Nidecker Cheat Code, the Jones Rally Cat, and the Nitro Cheap Trick. Recommended bindings: the Yes Select, the 32 Team FASE binding, and the K2 Bond. As always, guys, this has been my review of the Yes Basic. If you're interested in this board, but you're like, I don't know what bindings to throw on it, why don't you go check out one of the videos for the recommended bindings, and that way you know you're gonna get something that fits your needs and fits exactly what this board needs.